are live with Hell of a Show. We're getting ready to have a hell of a time tonight. It's going to be a blast. I'm still reeling off of the energy from last night from WrestleMania, from 2 nights on that. Uh, had fun with that one. Well, to a degree. Opinions, anyway. We'll get into all that. But if you can see and hear me, let me know in the comments so I can definitely move forward on that. And let's get some shares out there because we got a great show ahead of us tonight and a lot of fun going into here. And I'll be introducing out my guest here very shortly. Hope y'all had a great day and did some productive stuff out there and got some stuff moved around and did some positive things out there. And we'll be talking about that as well throughout the show because that's something I love to do as well. But it looks like everything is set up on my end. We got green check marks all the way across here. No one is banning me as of yet, even though I'm on a soft ban with Facebook, whatever they were calling it now. But we'll keep moving forward. So let's go ahead and start introducing some people up here because I can't be the only pretty face that's up here. So who will we have next we want to bring up here? Wow, this is interesting in the background back here, actually, if you could see what I could see. So let's go ahead and bring up Peat is here. Peat Vasquez, what's up?
What's going on, everybody? How are you? Thanks for having me, Phil. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Welcome to the show. And then let's see who else we got back here. Hang on. We have got, oh, look at that. It's Gage the Wolf.
And you can actually see me, not my avatar.
In person? What is this? That's like a wild Pokemon catch right there. That's awesome. All right, so don't adjust your screens. Let's go ahead and get the flash photography in order on this one and get ready to do your screenshots and everything because here is the 16-time guest on the show. Yeah, we're going to do the wrestling intro for this one. Here is Mr. 16, Tom Big Dog Hutchinson.
Yeah, I'm glad you just fixed that, Gage. You look like you were doing like the Ant-Man thing.
What's the Ant-Man thing?
You were like super tiny in your screen and everything behind you was gigantic.
I was just sitting back. So,
oh, you were sitting back.
So check this out. I have this super tiny recliner.
Figures. It just figures.
So I sit here for 8 hours a day on Sundays running a role-playing game. So
oh, there you go.
I have to have a comfortable chair. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get up Sunday night.
That is very true. I don't understand how that's comfortable, but we'll go with that. I look at that if I sit in that thing, I am not getting up. There is no bracelet I can put on my wrist or anything that'll get any help to me quick enough.
Well, the first time I sat in it, I got wedged in it, so it's got pillows in it now.
Well, it looks like we're already starting into a few shenanigans on this one. Before we get full on into this, because I know it's going to happen, let's going to go ahead and go around the room. We're going to start with Pete and go to Gage, and then we're going to go to Tom. Go ahead and let them know who you are, what you do, and where to find you. And, of course, Pete's always set up and ready for that one. So, Pete, go ahead and take it.
With no face, I got to have something to show, right? Hey, everybody, my name is Peat Vasquez. I am a freelance artist. I'm a commission artist. I'm a convention artist. You've seen our studio out there. Fat Guy Inc. Me and my partner Brendan, we do all the shows. I'm also a comic book guy, and I've been doing freelance comic book art for a few years now. Hardcore since the pandemic hit because that's all we could do because there were no shows, right? And soon, this summer, my long-awaited book, Attack on Cookie, will be crowdfunding. Will be out on Kickstarter, and I hope to pair that up with our 9-year anniversary at New York Comic Con. So we'll see what we can do. That's me.
All right. And Gage, let's go ahead and let them know who you are since a lot of us haven't actually even seen the face. I mean, you've just been an avatar to everybody up to this point. We didn't even know you were real. You could have been AI. Go ahead and let them know who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
I got pictures of me on the Kickstarter. They've seen me. But I'm the creator of Godslayers. We currently have a Kickstarter, Godslayers Episode 2. And it launched on Saturday. You can find me on Facebook at Tenebris Anima Comics or at Gage the Wolf. And I'm also at Gage the Wolf on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. And if y'all don't know who the last one is over here with Tom, then y'all haven't been paying attention to any of the shows or his shows or other shows or social media or life. I mean, he's all out there. So, Tom, let them know if they don't know who you are. Just, fill them in.
Yeah, I am Tom. I am all things Big Dog Inc. except for the art side of things, but I am the art director there as well. Writer, art director, publisher, sales guy, graphic design artist. I make the Kickstarters, I ship the Kickstarters, I do all of the things. And I come to talk shows and cause trouble.
There we go. There we go. So we're going to start off tonight with, we always kind of kicking into why I have people here and why I've kind of mixed things up the way that it is. Now, of course, Gage has got a current campaign that's on there right now with Godslayers, which it is issue 2. But if you didn't, read issue 1, it is available on there as well and highly recommended. It even has the Demon Seal of Approval, which I will be unveiling that after my marriage and everything is done. I've got a lot of cool things we're unveiling, but that is one of them. So that is one of the official announcements right there, is an official, recipient of the Demon Seal of Approval right there on Godslayers. And Gage didn't even know that. So the look on his face is just priceless, because that is awesome to be able to see that on there. Of course, if I told Pete that he got one, his look on his face would be priceless too, because I can't see his face. There it is. There it is.
I have a face for radio.
But you have an awesome, campaign that you're working on with this. You've got a lot of energy that you've built into, coming up with this and everything. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit on this show, is the energy that's involved in creating the projects that are out there. Tom is, no stranger to projects. I mean, he creates them every other day, ending in Y. Pete
I created another one today.
Exactly.
I literally decided what it was going to be, contacted the logo guy, had him do 2 logos today, got the artist to make me a rough, and I mocked up the entire cover thing today.
Wow.
And this book will be coming out next February.
By the end of the show, you'll probably have another one that you've got done.
Yes.
So, I mean, we work that way with you on that end. But it's awesome that you have all of that experience and that background on there, because I wanted to have you up on this panel for that reason, because Pete's worked on several projects that he's doing. Plus, he's got his own personal project, which is Attack on Cookie, which I am all kinds of excited about seeing whenever that comes out, because we've all been talking about it and building up the energy on there. The first question that I want to kind of throw out there to each one of y'all is, what does it take? Like, how much energy does it take to go ahead and sit down? Now, Tom kind of answered this because he's done this for a while, and I expect everyone else to have the same answer. But how much energy does it take to come up with an idea and then take it from idea to actual, getting ready to fulfill because the project's over with, to that point? We're going to go with Gage, because he looked like he had the most fun looking face on that one. I couldn't see. I can only imagine, but we'll go with Gage on that one. So Gage, how much energy is it to go from the idea in your head to where it is now about to be in your hands and in many more hands on top of that?
So tons of, I mean, with Godslayers, when Mario and I work together, I draw them and then he draws them. So I'm writing the script and then drawing it and then doing a lettering script while Mario's drawing it. And then I'm chasing cover artists, and it's a lot of energy. It's so much fun though. Like with Godslayers 2, I grabbed so much more art than I did with Godslayers 1, because I think that's my favorite part of it is getting the art and bringing that stuff to life.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy awesome. And so like we have all kinds of prints and stickers on the Kickstarter because of it, and it was that's the best part for me is running into the fantastic artists and working with these guys.
And speaking of fantastic artists, we're going to ask Pete the same thing, because Pete is is an artist working on a bunch of stuff over there as well. Has some awesome looking art that we're going to be showing off some pieces of that while we're going to be talking here in a very short time. But Pete, what does it take on your end, the energy involved in coming from an idea, a concept, all the way to being in your hands and in many more hands than that?
And we're going to use Attack on Cookie as the example, because that's just the perfect example. When I first started, I was doing art shows and underground stuff. Look, not even an elevator. This is a 5-second pitch. When I started coloring and stuff like everybody else. But when I started doing like art in public, the public saw it, but a lot of times they didn't see me do it because it had to be done at night, because, it might have been in the middle of a train yard or a subway or something like that. Just, putting it out there. So I started like that, but in college and stuff, I started refining stuff when we did art shows and underground, but a bunch of underground outlaw stuff. I've always been the underground outlaw guy. I have the same roots as like JD Calderon and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the energy was just make art, right? I never cared about, and just make art, and I got a day job. That changed 10 years ago when Fat Guy Inc. was founded, because it was my buddy Brendan, who he was actually a bar guest of mine for 10 years, and we liked comic books, we became friends, and yada yada yada. Fat Guy Inc. was born 10 years ago, and then it was like, okay, I got to make stuff. Okay, cool. Now now the juggle is day job, this, take care of my health, which I don't do well at, take care of my family, this, that, the other thing. So it takes all my energy all the time. The short answer is everything. It takes everything. I'm constantly thinking, I'm constantly doing things, and constantly putting things together. And what I've learned is to catch that energy. It's like you can't, because I'm an artist, it's harder for me to catch that energy. But I have found that whenever the spark hits, I always have a pencil and a sketchbook with me, because it's when an idea hits me, scribble it down, get it done, make it happen. That was the Attack on Cookie thing. When I saw the first episode of Attack on Titan, if anybody's watched that first episode of Attack on Titan, you sit there and go, holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I got an idea. I was like, you got to be able to soften that up. What softens that up? That's what softens it up. So, and then here we go. So yeah, for me, it's capturing the energies. Like you said before, capturing a Pokemon. I have a Pokeball on me at all times. Ooh, an idea, throw the Pokeball at it. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. But yeah, it's always be ready with the trap to catch the idea.
There you go.
Longest 5-second pitch ever.
I was just looking too. I was just making sure. I didn't know if that was a New York 5-second or what we were going for on that.
A New York 5-second, I wouldn't have. A New York 5-second, I would have told you to fuck off. I'm sorry.
Now, Tom, same question to you, but of course, you already kind of answered that whenever you said that you already came up with a concept through today.
Comics are easy. Comics are easy. Everyone should do them. You can make a comic book on every day. It's super, super simple. We make tons of money. We all live in mansions, and we have boats, and we travel around the world. It's super easy. Everyone should do it.
Tell them about the girls.
Yeah. No, there's no girls. There's no girls.
Then I'm out. I'm out.
There's just money and boats and power, but there's no.
Hang on. There's got to be girls because you have the hashtag. She seems nice. What's up with that?
There's girls, but we have to draw them.
Oh,
that's bird. Okay, I got you.
No, I mean seriously though, Tom. What does it take as far as like you're concerned with your? You've got a lot of momentum going into this, going into the anniversary, of BDI, 13 years of doing this and everything. You've got 10-year anniversaries that have been just going back to back each year, working on Penny for Your Soul right now, which is one of the big ones that's out there for whenever you first started all of this.
Yeah.
What is something that shows the amount of energy that you put into this, that you just lead into this through a day-to-day basis and come up with as much as you do?
I think for me, it's, you can just see the catalog, right? It's, you see how much has existed in what is now 13 years. And that was with 3 years off, because we didn't produce anything new really at Aspen. We were just doing some reprint stuff for them. So it's really been 10 years of production, minus Aspen. And then even within the last 5 years, it's all been quarterly issues, right, through Kickstarter, rather than like 3 issues a month, which is what we used to do through Diamond, which was crazy. But I think now, because I've been going for so long, I've created sort of a momentum drive for me. So while it still takes a lot of energy to do all this stuff, there is sort of the element of a cruise control that once you've created enough, you can almost sort of template your stuff off of what you've done previously, and that eases some of the necessary energy needed to keep on going. Because like just with Kickstarters, for example, you have to always build another Kickstarter. But if you are templating your Kickstarters so that even when you go from, like, let's say superheroes to horror, the general sort of branding of it is the same, right? Once you've templated everything, then it's just drag and drop. Here's a new image. Here's a new artist name to drop in, whatever. So there are cheats, particularly within crowdfunding, which is kind of what we're talking about here, that help. But as far as like actually creating something like brand new, that really is, it can become all encompassing, and it really depends on how much you want to put into it. I mean, some people have the time to just sit and take 5 hours a day and work on developing whatever it is. Other people have 2 or 3 hours a day because they have kids, or they have, whatever it is. For me, I've been lucky to sort of dodge the kid problem, which gave me a lot of time to just keep working on comics and working on comics and working on comics. And that's been sort of my life decision, is I need to put my primary energy into this. And that's where we are 13 years later. But the other part of it is when you've done as much as I have with as many different worlds as you have, you start to be, instead of creating something brand new out of thin air, you start to have little pieces that you can pluck from within all of these worlds that you've got. So we do a lot of little expansions, like, okay, here we got Penny for Your Soul, but we're going to slide off to a Joan of Arc story. We've got Critter, but we're going to slide off to this Ukalik mini story, things like that. So the more you create, the easier it gets in a way. But that's still, it still requires energy mentally, physically to do it day in and day out.
Oh yeah. And it definitely can weigh on you to a degree and everything. But I mean, as long as you keep the momentum going on there and you keep the tempo on your side and you control that tempo, then you're able to control the way that it's going to flow out that way.
Yeah,
I've seen so many people that had the ideas and everything, and they may take a break, because they're trying to get their thoughts together or something like that. And all of a sudden they come back and they feel like they should be right in the same momentum whenever they left, but you can't. You have to build back up to that point again. And you already said, make sure that you're putting your campaigns out there and keep putting your name out there and everything, and keep that going, because whenever you start slowing down on that momentum, you start slowing down on the eyes that are on you as well.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to overdo it to the point where you're just becoming monumentally behind on things, but you do want to be able to maintain some sort of a consistent, I guess, release schedule. Like when in comic book stores, we expect things monthly by everybody, and or bi-monthly sometimes. In comics, we kind of tend to look at it as like, maybe these Kickstarters are going to come out at roughly quarterly or twice a year. So as long as you can kind of maintain some of that, something like that sort of a schedule, most people will buy in for you. But if things start to slow down and crap out, because it does happen, the acts of God will happen. You need to be able to acknowledge that and be like, okay, we got to push this next project a little bit just because things have happened, and let's catch up, and then we'll keep going. But you want to always at least minimum stay in the public eye through social media one way or another. Even if you're not putting out a book, you can still talk about what the next book is going to be.
Exactly. Now, speaking of, putting your face out there with social media and everything, we're going to talk to the one who's got the most, relatable face out there on social media right now, which is Peat. Peat, we're going to bring you up on here. This looks like that's you, right? That's your face.
Me. That's me. I have a lot of fun with Instagram filters and photo filters. I really do. I'll just sit there in my car either before or after work and just goof off, and it's kind of become a little bit of a signature for me. So
exactly. This is one of those pictures that I look at these kind of things and I'm like, this has to be a guest on my show. It's with Hell of a Show. This has to be one of the guests. It looks like you should be one of the usher minions as people are coming in going, there's your seats.
I took the first picture I ever took of something like this a couple years ago. My sister just looked at me, is like, were you killing younglings? Like, what were you doing?
Like Tim just said, this man looked like a druid from hell. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. And it doesn't hurt that I'm 6'1", 320. So.
Yep, and Pete does know what you did last summer. Yeah. We've got Zing is here. Appreciate you being here, Zing. He says it's important to have stories, expand and tell other events for sure. Staying on top of that can be difficult, but not impossible. And that is absolutely true. And we're going to be kind of discussing more about that as we go along as well. But Pete, we're going to kind of show some of your, pretties that you've got.
Please.
Working on, because you've got serious talent out there that people may or may not know that you're working on quite a bit.
Well, I appreciate
You
that.
need to pay attention to some stuff that you've got. And one that I want to showcase right here is one that really got my attention.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about, Baby Yoda, Grogu, the cute guy, the little kid, baby, the child. And then you took and created the Sith version, and I'm like, oh yes, this had to have been done. This is awesome.
This was a concept. I can't take credit for the concept. My buddy Miguel, who's bought art for me before, was like, hey, listen, I kind of have an idea, and I don't know where he got it, but he's like, he kind of ugly sketched something for me and sent it to me. He's like, could you do something like this, like really, dark Yoda kind of whatever, dark. Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's, what. Then I just asked him, what pieces do you want? He goes, he's got to have a Sith lightsaber, but he still has to have the some Mando-esque stuff, and okay. Then he left everything else up to me, and this is an 18 by 24 acrylic canvas, actually.
Awesome. And I love the way that it came out. It has that Lego feel, but also the child feel kind of mixed together on there, so it hits different markets, which is awesome. You did a great job on there, and then even though it's not your concept, you really ran with it and gave it the breath of life that it needed.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the. It's fun when you can collab with a customer like that, especially since Miguel's a good friend.
Oh, absolutely. And another one that got my attention, of course, because we're talking with the Demon tonight, so you've got the Oni mask that's on there. You got to have that on the Demon show.
Yes, sir. Now, at this point, the picture, it's first off, I don't own this painting anymore. It's gone to its forever home, which is I'm very happy about that. I am a freak for Japanese lore, Japanese culture, a lot of stories and stuff, which is why I'm the biggest fan of 47 Furious Tales by Sinopa Publishing, our buddy Sam Quinton. I love Oni masks and skulls because I love what they represent. I love the change that they represent, and a lot of things. And with a lot of things that are going with me health-wise, I hide behind a mask a lot, to be honest with you. Not to get deep or anything like that, but I do. And the Oni masks really sing to me. They really speak to me. So I love painting them. I love drawing them. I adore them.
Awesome. And then, of course, this is another one that you're highly known for. You've had this one show up on quite a few shows talking about some things, but this one actually got you a lot of attention as well.
This was that's the print version of a painting I did probably 7 years ago. I painted it on because the anniversary of Notorious B.I.G.'s passing was in March, and I'm in New York, so that's kind of a big deal for us. A lot of us who are into hip hop and stuff like that, Biggie was a big deal, no pun intended there. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do a painting. I kind of wanted to go with the crown thing, but also one of my artistic influences is Jean-Michel Basquiat. So I really wanted the crown to really, go with. And I actually did this for an underground art show called the Pancakes and Booze Art Show that travels around the country. And I'm happy to say that this one found its forever home that night as well.
Nice. And then, of course, you've already shown it, on your table and everything, but I wanted to showcase it again because this is what you're going to be widely known for here, in the very near future on this one as well. And this is something that you've talked about quite a bit, off and on, and it's finally going to come to fruition, and it's finally going to be in people's hands, and it's going to be out there on crowdfunding for it being able to get in people's hands. What does this mean to you? Like, how much of a passion project is Attack on Cookie for you?
It started a print as a joke, just to do a mashup because I love doing mashups. I love mashing characters up. A buddy of mine, you see that there's a name on the bottom, Jay Hewer. He's a writer. Some of you guys may know him. He's worked on Carriers and a bunch of other stuff. Great guy, love him to death. We talk pro wrestling a lot too. He knows a lot of the guys at Creator Pro. And he's at one show, he said, hey, I want to write a short story. We'll do like a zine, like we used to do in high school. We'll draw some stuff up. We'll do a quick zine for it. And we'll put it out. He ended up writing a full comic. And I was like, shit, now I got to draw it. At that time, I was self-publishing my own books, Fat Guy Inc. Presents. We were doing short stories. And I got so far as we did a preview book, and we got some pages in there and some other stuff. And at some point, I realized something and this is like 6 years ago. I realized something that my sequentials were garbage. And I have no problem saying that out loud. They were absolute trash. I was not happy. I'm like, I can't put this out. I can't. So I talked to Jay. He's like, dude, take your time. Don't worry about it. So I literally took myself back to school, YouTube videos, took a couple online classes, some film classes and things like that to try to relearn how to draw sequentially.
Mhm.
And I started getting better at it, and I feel comfortable with it now. And I was like, finally, and then I don't want to miss the best part of the story. Hanging with the crew that I hang, Gage is there, but before Gage was there, it was Larry Higgins, Niobe, Max, Samson, Opal Publishing. Those guys really gave me the confidence to start doing sequential samples for other people.
Yep.
I finally ended up, the guy took the money and ran, but I had my first sequentials were for Pork Kaiju Mania. I showed them to the guys. They were pretty happy with it. They were like, you're doing good. I got some great critique. Did that. I did sequentials again. There's actually for Pinguino 2 for Antarctic Press, I did the inking for Warren Brown sequentials for that story there, and I feel really confident. And I was like, yes, we're doing this book. Now, health reasons, this should have been out already, but because there's some health stuff and some work stuff and some things that are completely life, I'm pushing it back. I had to push it back to the summer, but that's fine because then I can make a bunch of books and take them to New York Comic Con, so it'll be fine. But this is completely something that I want to do. It's not I don't need the mansion. I don't need the money. I just want to do it just because I want to do it. And it's just completely, let's get it done. Let's get it out there because I want to prove to myself that I can do it, but I'm going to be completely selfish here. And I want to prove to a lot of people that told me that I couldn't do it to, just give them the big that,
Exactly. Now, that's not technically the power of the finger that I usually bring up, but that works too. I mean, that's okay.
I'm good with I'm ambidextrous with it too, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
Now, you've got some amazing work. We were showing that off and kind of going through that and everything. I'm fixing to go ahead and switch gears. We're going to look into Gage's stuff on here and looking at some things. Before we do, B.A. Turner's here saying, "Hail Gage and Godslayers too." So you got there.
That guy's actually a friend of mine in real life. Also an author and working on his first comic book.
Well, there you go. So, BA, if you're out there and you want to give a shout out on your work, go right ahead. I think that's the Vigilantes Creed that you're talking about. But if you have a link or something, feel free to put it up there. I have no problem with that. I'm all about sharing. All these guys know that. But we're going to talk about yours, Gage, because your stuff is actually something that resonated with me personally. Pete already brought it up that most of us kind of got together because of, Larry's show and getting together on the BC and things like that. And Gage was those that was brought in as the intern. And and that term is under air quotes. If y'all didn't know, I was using the sarcastic voice on there.
The pledge. G.
No, we changed that.
Did we? Okay. I apparently was not notified.
Because we're not there yet. But you're a fully patched member. Giselle is the intern, the pledge now. He's pledging the BC fraternity, and so you're a full. You got your letters. You're a full member.
There you go.
Woohoo!
And BA said, "Thanks, sir, but let's check out Gage's stuff." Absolutely, we're about to do that. Absolutely, no problem. Let me go ahead and bring up his stuff on here. But Gage was one of those that got our attention because he was starting off into this stuff. He had questions. He was, gung-ho about getting into this. He wanted to know the right way of doing this and what people thought about his stuff, and he wanted to make sure that he was making the right impact for the right reasons. Integrity was all about what he was getting into whenever he first started, and Larry recognized that along with the rest of the BC over there with Peat, with William, Max, and yeah, exactly. Well, I keep calling him William. It's Sam. Yeah, I know.
I call him William too. He's always telling me to call him Sam.
It's the first name in his thing is William. So, it goes.
The William is silent.
Oh, okay. But Sam. Okay, I got it. You got to make the face though. Sam, I got you. It's like a Godzilla movie that's bad now, but we'll go with that. Sorry, Tom. I went with a Godzilla reference. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to offend you. But Gage actually kind of resonated with his first title that came out, and whenever it did, it got a good sized following on there, and people were interested in what was going on. It was during a time whenever I was having some issues in my personal life and was, in the process of moving and doing some things. So I missed out on the campaign, but I reached out to him and said, "Hey, I missed out on your book. How do I get a copy?" And he said, well, as long as you got the bling bling, then I'll get you the sing sing. Um, that wasn't the exact, acknowledgement, but it was somewhere along there. But anyway,
I'm not that stylish.
exactly. I paid for my copy. He sent it to me. He asked me, which cover I wanted, and of course, out of the covers that were on there, this was a no-brainer again, because it's one that I collect a few of, shall we say. But let me go ahead and bring it up on the screen now, because it's the Courtney cover. But whenever I got this in, he sent me a message and he said, I want to know what you think. And I was like, okay, I'll look it over and I'll see what I can do, let you know some things. He's like, no, seriously. He said, give me the bad, give me the good, give me anything you've got. And I'm like, okay, he wants a full on, deep review on this thing. And I can honestly say that after going through that, that's why this thing has the Demon Seal of Approval, because it checks off all the marks on there and then some, because this is one of those books that whenever you're getting into the business, and you're looking for something to read and something new to get into in the indies side of things, this is one that will get your attention in several different directions that are on there. The storyline is very, and it's gripping as all get out in there. I mean, from start to end on there. I mean, the way it starts out is just kind of like, did I miss a few pages? What's going on here? And then it catches you up to what's going on. But I like the way it did that. It feels like a movie on pages. And it really does. And so I really got my attention with issue 1. So as soon as I heard about issue 2, I'm getting with him going, hey, when are you available? When can I get you on the show? What's going on? What's happening? And and we were kind of going through that. So that's where we are now, is we are now to issue 2 is on here. And that's why we're here to kind of talk about this and talk about some things, because you as a new creator, getting into this stuff and everything, you went through issue 1 and you decided to go ahead and come back with issue 2, and you came back twice as hard, with issue 2. You've got quite a few, great artists that are involved in this, some awesome looking covers, that are on there. One of which I believe is sitting here somewhere in the studio tonight. But we're going to get into that as well, because you did a great job on setting up issue 2. What did it take to go ahead and change your mindset and go, issue 1's over with? I survived it. I'm breathing a little bit now. Filming is done. You know what? I feel like I should go ahead and lose the air again. Let's do this one more time. How did you get in the mindset of let's do it one more time and see where this hits?
So I jumped in with episode 1 head first. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd been watching Larry for probably 2 years before I reached out to him and asked him for some help. And he was telling me that most people that contact them don't even, produce a comic book. Mm-hmm. And I was dead set I was going to do that. And all I learned was that I had a ton to learn. And so with number 2, I latched on to getting some more product so that I could do some cons and chatting with some more artists and trying to find something that would make it unique, Anne Araujo does my sexy necromancer cover, and I was like, I kind of want to do like a guy pinup. I'm not looking for like a whole body shot, but I wound up having to pose for that. I couldn't even find a picture to use for it. And so and then LC, I've been a big fan of that guy's. See, that's the funnest thing, is now all these artists I've been watching now for 3 years, 4 years, whatever, and following and sharing all their stuff. I get to work with them. I mean, how cool was it the first time Larry pulled me on his show? I've been a fan of that guy's for a couple of years, and now I'm sitting on a panel with Tom Hutchinson. I mean,
you've officially made it now. Welcome to the.
This is a super cool experience for me. I'm motivated to keep going because I want to tell my story. I'm really passionate about it. I love the indie atmosphere. Like, I'm still sharing other people's stuff while I'm doing my Kickstarter, because these are the people that inspired me, And so, and then, like I said, I get the fun of getting all this artwork in my hands and knowing that I helped create this thing. So.
Exactly. And speaking of artwork, of course, this is for issue 1. So, if you want to get on there for issue 2, and I believe, do you have this one as an add-on for issue for the Kickstarter or no?
So I have this up there, but they're all in the Bella tier. I did not have a lot
Okay.
of Courtney Rose's covers left, and so there's a limited number of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not reprinting Greg Bo Watson's or Courtney Rose's covers again. Like, that's all there will be. So if people want to grab these up, there's not going to be any more after this.
Exactly. And like Tim said, he said he feels like you're the first guest, I think, that gets how I feel, small worm on a big hook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Like-
Tim and I laugh about that quite often because, you know, he feels that way and everything, and I think I'm still in just denial because we're fixing to get ours ready and everything. But there's people that I look up to, people like Gage, people like Peat, you know, like Tom, like Larry, Max, all these different ones that are out there that are doing the job on a regular basis, and they'll hit obstacles. I'm not telling you they'll do things and they never hit anything that's wrong out there. They'll hit something and they'll bounce right back. And because of that, they're making it where I'm a little more tenacious in moving forward with what I'm doing as well. So I have all of y'all to thank for that as well moving forward. But Gage, whenever we're looking at some of the stuff that he's got up here, we're going to go through and show you some of the cover work that he's got on here because this is awesome. This is the wraparound cover, which gets your attention right off the bat because a good wraparound cover is a good thing to have on there in your collection and all, because you can really show that thing off. Just to go ahead and bust that myth before Gage lets you know more information on this. If you open up a comic, because they do open, by the way, you open up a comic, there's actual words in there that create a story, and there's even more art inside. So just to let y'all know, it's not just the ooh and ah on the outside. You can actually crack this thing open, and there's more on the inside.
The hell you say?
I know. Blows your mind. I know.
So this
But
cover is
Gage
done
didn't
by
get
our
one.
this cover's
How'd you
done by
come up
our
with-
interior artist. And I had a design for a cover, and he was like, "No, I'm inspired. Like, I want to do a wraparound cover." And I was like, "Mario, man, bring it, bring
Mhm.
it!" And he did.
Awesome. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous on that one. And if you think this is kind of going to sound like a 2 a.m. infomercial at this point, it kind of is, because I'm going to go through this and I love doing this. But wait, there's more. Because the LC Fritas, which we know because Max has done a little bit of work, you know, with this particular person, I believe, right? It's just a tad.
A little
Oh
bit. A little bit.
And I've been following LC for years, so I was so nervous when I contacted him. Like, I've been sharing his stuff out and following his work for a couple of years now, and he does all his like Halloween witches and his space themed stuff, and I love this guy. It's so detailed. There's
Oh, yeah.
so much in it
Oh yeah.
every time. And this
Yeah.
one's colored by one of our other cover artists too, Ann Arajo.
Yes. I noticed the name on there and I was like, okay, we got someone pulling double duty on this. This is kind of cool. And then, of course, you got the Necromancer cover, which you'd already talked about a little bit, but go ahead and let us know a little bit more about this one, because speaking of Anne, there it is.
So this cover was funny because I spent probably 3 days looking. I wanted that exact pose, and it finally got to the point of where I was like, I went to my wife and I'm like, "Brenda, take my picture." And I'm doing that, and I feel like a doof, and then one of my good buddies at work found that picture, like looking at through my comic pictures, my art on my phone. He found that picture and he's cracking up about it, and so he's telling people, and they're calling me Mr. December.
All right.
This book took a little longer. I work in building medical ventilators, and
Mhm.
so this last year, like, we've been working overtime and doing tons of stuff, and that slowed me down a little with getting Godslayers 2 out. But we had a lot of fun teasing me about this cover.
Awesome. And then, of course, you've got LC Fruitus is here with another one, but this is a different kind of cover on this one.
So yeah, I designed this one. This one's a sample because we're still waiting to get the wording moved.
Mhm.
And this one's actually colored by the interior artist. When I contacted LC to do this cover, I wanted one that showed like the Godslayer latching onto Jericho. But when I asked him who he wanted to color it, he had worked with Mario in the past. And he's like, have Mario color that thing. And I was like, right on, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And I saved this one for the end because, like I said, someone here on the panel did this last cover on here. And I just want to thank Tom for going ahead and working on this one. No, it wasn't Tom, was it? No, Tom didn't do this one. Everybody knows, it's Pete's hand right there that's actually waving to us every once in a while. So Pete's hand is the reason that we have the Godslayer cover on here, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only one that is available in silver foil, correct?
As soon as I saw that thing, I wanted it in foil.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that thing, I wanted it in foil. And so I told Pete, and apparently that's when Pete discovered it was going to be a cover at all. So there was
He
some
never told me. I thought it was just a commission.
So there was some communication stuff. I have that thing. It's big. It's awesome looking. I'm gonna get it framed, and it's gonna go in my studio when I finally get all set up with a personal place to work and do my shoots, so that my family doesn't have to walk on eggshells around me.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, when I told him it was gonna be foil, that's when he found out it was going to be a cover. We even redesigned the logo to match the coloring of the.
A side note on that too. When he told me, okay, first off, it's done. This is done in dip pen, brush, and ink wash. It's all black ink and water. That's it. I didn't use anything else.
Wow.
It's on a 15 by 20 illustration board. So I'm like, oh God, how am I gonna? It's a cover. How am I gonna? Okay. Quick borrowed my sister's DSLR camera, took a picture of it so we can get a nice image for it. He has the original, by the way. I sent it to him. So then, because he wanted covered, there needs to be room for trade dress. How do we do that? So if you look where the end of the sword, ends on the cover, that's where the piece actually ends. So everything above that, I fixed in Photoshop so he could make a trade dress cover. Yeah, there it is. He's got the original in his hand right there.
Oh, hang on. Let me full screen on this. Hang on. Let me see. Where is he? Okay, here we go. There we go. Oh, wow.
That's the original.
That is awesome.
So if you see, bring it down a second, you can see where it ends. So everything above his ears where the trade dress is, yeah, I made that on the computer to, match it, and that's why I took an extra couple days to get to you, Gage, because I had to make sure I blended and looked right. Because I was like, holy shit, it's going to be a cover. I was so excited. I was so happy.
Oh, man.
It's so funny because I was so excited about this. Like, when I received it, and I was already talking about, this needs to be foil. This needs to be foil.
Oh, yeah. Now, as excited as I am about this cover, and you already know that I am because this is what I'm getting from your campaign, by the way, is this cover. So, Pete, whenever I do meet you up someday, you're going to have to sign this bad boy for me.
I think your best bet, Phil, is come find me at New York Comic Con.
You don't find anybody at New York Comic Con. It's
just no, you find us. We're easy to find. We are easy. I'm going to tell you how easy. Fat Guy Inc. is always on the main floor. We're right across from Jamie Tyndall and the Japanese Curry.
Okay. All right. So I will take you up on that. It won't be this year because this year travel plans are kind of moved around because of the whole wedding thing and all. I mean,
you're not wedding.
Priorities.
You're that damn wedding. God.
But the other thing that got me excited about having Gage on here tonight is coffee and comics is something that he is definitely into with all of this. And as everybody knows, I love my comics, yes, but I also love my coffee. And by the way, this mug right here is about to be trademarked in all kinds of ways. You're going to see it in a lot of things coming up in the future. Hint, hint, pay attention. But Gage, go ahead and tell us about coffee and comics and your involvement with them and everything.
So this is kind of like my haven. This is where I go every Saturday and spend my morning working. And like I was talking about B.A. Turner, I hang out with that guy there. We work on projects and share what we've learned because we're both pretty new to this. There's another guy that hangs out with us named Cameron, and his handle is Sketchy Guy Nevada. You can find him on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and he's got a comic book called Sisters Wolf he's working on. Professor G and Blake is one of his books, and this guy is a machine. Like he can turn out logos and images and all kinds of stuff super fast, and just a really great guy. And we've been kind of trying to build a little network down here locally where we can get together with other people looking to create comic books or have their art put in comic books, or our editors or even writers, because we know people we can connect them with and help them get started if that's what they're doing. And because people did that for us, you know, we're just trying to hand that back a little bit.
And that is why that's one of the main reasons that I definitely wanted to have you on here and talk about this, because even though you're new into, you know, doing your comics and everything, you're definitely not new to the scene, and you've been around enough to see some of the things that are out there. I saw this on your wall, and I had to go ahead and show this off tonight because this actually explains who you are to a T. Helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person. You believe in this enough that you came on there, and Larry saw this in you and took you on under his wing and said, we're going to help you out with this. We're going to give you the tools you need and figure out what we need to go ahead and make sure that these books become a reality. What's up, William? And you in turn have turned around and said, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, even though I have a campaign going. I'm looking at your page going, I'm seeing all these posts of your campaign, which is great. I'm also seeing posts of other people's campaigns, which is even more great because you take the time to go ahead and hit that share button for quite a few other people, even though you've got a live one right now. I got to give you props on that, man.
I'm a little weary of the not safe for work stuff. I'll post it with my campaigns and stuff like that where I can mark it as adult, and because my page is also my personal page. I have a business page, 10% of my comics, but for the most part, like, I mean, people like Joshua Metzger, CB Zane, Max, William, I mean, we keep talking about these people. Who's another one? Vic Medina, Zach Raw, who I've been working with recently, LC Fritas, Fernando Cordero. Like, these are all people who I've been watching their stuff forever, and getting to work with them is super cool. Like, and I'm not going to stop sharing their stuff. I mean, that's what we're doing. You know, you're the one who's got the voice of the indies thing, you know, increase the voice of the indies. I'm all for that. Like, I love that. I love the culture. It's just really been great. I haven't run into a lot of terrible stuff. I've had a couple of my run-ins, but nothing that would turn me away from it. More often than not, it's been a fantastic experience.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree on that. And it's very cool to see that you're coming in here and you've still got that mentality and you're still moving through with that as well. And someone else who deals with a lot of, you know, products that are out there, a lot of shares that go out there, because he has a campaign pretty much every other week or so. Or that's next year. I think I'm looking too far ahead in the schedule. But Tom, we're going to talk about yours right now. And of course, we can't talk about yours until we mention what is about to, it's either finishing right now. It is just finished. But we're talking about International Pillow Fight Day.
Yeah. This little nonsense campaign is ending in less than an hour. We have about less than an hour, so 11:45 Eastern time. And I'll tell you this: everything is almost sold out. So if you've not been a part of this yet, please go over quickly. There are about 12 sets of the 3 cover set that this thing is all about left. 12. There's some foils of stuff that are printed to order and so on, but most of the stuff on this campaign is sold out. This has been a ridiculous campaign. and it's been crazy, far more fun than I anticipated. It was more fun to make it. It was more fun to watch it come together. It was more fun to actually watch it just go bat crap when people saw it. And it's just a 3-day campaign. And it's only a 3-day campaign because yesterday was WrestleMania and I didn't want to end it while Cody and Roman were going. So I just extended it one more day just to make sure that, we didn't have any distractions. And we've done another, I don't know, $600 today, which is amazing, considering again that most of the stuff is sold out. So yeah, International Pillow Fight Day officially was Saturday. That's the real official International Pillow Fight Day. So we launched it then. We did a 3-day campaign. There are only 3 covers on the whole thing. Yes, there are foils and some fancy stuff too, but this isn't a 10 or 20 cover campaign. It's just a little tiny little thing, and it went bananas, and it's been a lot of fun.
Now I'm going to show those covers that you just talked about, but before then, it took quite a bit of digging to go ahead and find some of the interior pages on there. And I found an interior page that I want to show off on here. And I just got to tell you, this is great because I love how you incorporated John Wick in here.
So good. It's so good. So good. Yeah.
That is awesome. I mean, a pencil wasn't good enough. He can actually take you out with a pillow now. This is just now for all those watching right now, if you're buying this thing, it does not have this page in there. I don't want y'all messaging Tom going, "Oh, you lied, man. That wasn't in there."
I didn't see John Wick in there.
Oh, they took his sleeping bag and he took out their life. Yeah, because it wasn't a dog this time. No, but instead of John Wick, we have art like this right here, which I think is a little bit better. So you've got 3 different covers that you got available that are on this thing. Like you said, it is ending, very quickly. You've already sold out of several things, and
yeah, this is sold out. This regular logo edition is sold out, and we only made 100 of them.
Yep.
And it was divided between two tiers. So you had the regular one where you could just buy the book that you wanted. I'll just buy that by itself. And then the other was part of a set of covers. So you have this one and then the 2 character covers. And there's only 50 of the 2 character covers. So there's basically a 50-piece set. And then there's the other 50 that are sold as the logo editions. And these are gone. These have been gone since Sunday morning. And we've got 12 of the set left. So yeah.
Nice. So you've got
and Isanetto Adamar is the artist. Elenia Di Napoli is the colorist. And that's on all 3. And they both always do amazing jobs for us. So, yeah.
Now you're talking about an amazing job. I think this next one was more of an astounding job is what we're going to go with on that one. This one actually, let me go ahead and, gosh, why are we in the way? This one was a different kind of cover for you because you've had so many covers and so many different things that are going out there, and to have something new, to have something different, to have a different shape, style, feel for the cover.
Yeah,
that definitely, fits this right here because you have too many times where, 13 years of doing, covers and things, you're going to run into where it's like, oh man, I've already done that cover. What am I going to do now?
With this, this is a nonsense book. I've posted about this on social media. It's a nonsense book. It's a Camp Crossover book, incidentally, as well. So for those that don't know, Camp Crossover started in 2021, where we basically took all of our characters out of their various universes and sent them all to summer camp in sort of like an 80s movie parody. And so that's where all this stuff started. And one of the covers there was a pillow fight cover between Catnip and our jungle girl, Tina. And it sold really well. So last year we did another pillow fight cover, just the cover, with Cindy versus Scarlet. And again, it did really well. And so I was like, okay, let's do a pillow fight book, but let's actually do a book. Let's dive into it a little bit. Let's make this the 2023 Camp Crossover story. So again, it's just nonsense. It's just pure fun. And when you're going to do a pillow fight cover, obviously there's sort of rules to the pillow fight cover. And if you don't adhere to the rules, why are you even doing it? So, I told Isanetto, I was like, so we're going to do these characters and like their lingerie stuff. He was excited. He was like, dude, that's going to be so fun. I was like, awesome. Isanetto has done some great stuff for us in the last year. And again, this was just super fun. And then Elenia she's so amazing on colors that she brought it to absolute living color.
Nice. And in the spirit of the 2 a.m. infomercials where I say, but wait, there's more, I just want to go ahead and emphasize, but wait, there's more.
But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's another one here. Just whenever you thought there wasn't any more to go ahead and hit you with the covers here, you have
Mhm.
another one that's available here, which is you've got a theme going on here. Why the theme of the rear side of things on this one? Is there a point there? Or is it rear end day coming up or something like that?
it's I mean, if we don't know by now, this is what sells. If we haven't figured this out yet, let's just let's put all of our cards on the table.
See what he said, Gage? See what he said?
There it is.
Yep.
I heard
So,
him.
it's just, you got to, again, it's a nonsense book. You've got to go all in on the nonsense. And clearly people enjoyed it because we're going to sell this whole thing out. There's going to be nothing left by the end of this campaign. Or if there are, it's only going to be a handful of sets. So it was a success. It was a big experiment. I can't say we've never done anything like this. We kind of have a little bit, but not quite to this degree. Like we've done some covers in the past for special days, but to actually create a little mini story to go with it. This is the first time we've done it for its own Kickstarter campaign. And it was super successful. People loved it. And one of the advantages that we had with it is we got to, because there's only the 3 covers, we filled out the rest of the campaign with some of our back issues. So I went into the warehouse. I was like, okay, how many of these old Pillow Fight covers do we have? Okay, we got 20 of those. Cool. We got 15 of those. Cool. Let's just fill in the campaign with some of these back issues that these backers may have missed, may not have gotten. And that's become a huge thing because we've sold out of those remaining copies in a lot of cases. So this was a big experiment, and people know me. I talk about experimenting on Kickstarters all the time. It's not a matter always of just doing the same thing and repeating it. You got to kind of shake it up every now and then, change the way you do it, change the methodology, change the ideology. And you may end up finding people that you wouldn't have found the first time. And I'm going to be really interested to see the names that are on this campaign and how they translate to, some of the other stuff that we do. I mean, we always get new backers, no matter what we do. We always get new backers. But did this attract new backers? And then do those guys carry on to our next campaigns? These are all things that you kind of got to watch to see and figure out how to keep growing from a backer standpoint. Even though for us, Jesus, I mean, it's like every time we do something, it's something different. So we're kind of bouncing around. We haven't really had this stability of like, here's Penny for Your Soul 1 through 7 and Legend of Oz 1 through 5. We always kind of go to a new book and then we kind of start over again at around, 300 backers. But this one's crossed 100 backers, crossed 100 freaking backers. It's almost at $8,000. I was sure this was going to top out around 5,000. In my brain, I was like, we're going to hit about 5,000. It's going to top out because it's only 3 days. And we hit 5,000 like on day 1.
Nice.
God damn, this is ridiculous. So yeah, so super fun, guys. I really appreciate the support on this little nonsense book. And there will be more nonsense books in the future.
Now, I'm just going to let you know right now that I've already taken my pictures of Demon Phil and the Mankini. So whenever you're ready for that cover for next year, if you want to go ahead and have something new and different every time, that's new and different right there. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm sure Demon Day is a thing. We'll figure something out.
Now, of course, this one is coming to a close. So the next thing you've got coming up is another favorite that's out there, which is Goth Day.
Yeah.
And that one is going to be launching here pretty soon. And this one's actually running the full term of the campaign on this one.
Yeah, this is one of our big annual events now. This was our first ever special day back in 2020. We did Goth Day in 2020, where we modified a bunch of our characters to be their goth alternatives, and that stuff was so popular that people were asking for it to come back, and I was like, well, I don't want to just like do covers every year. That feels a little chintzy. And so in 2021, I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and build a goth world for these characters to exist in. And we did a Goth Day Kickstarter campaign. It only lasted, I don't know, what is it, like 9 days, because it starts May 22nd and it goes 9 days. And that's the campaign. It was hugely successful again. And then in 2022, we did it again, Goth Day number 2, where we introduced our first mermaid Princess, which is part of the Princesses versus Zombies world, again went crazy, and it's now an official like yearly annual event that everyone now looks forward to in a big way, and that's super fun because CB Zane does the art, he does the cover there, but he does the interiors as well. He and I have really enjoyed building not just the world, but building the books individually, because each of these books has its own sort of unique storytelling devices to them. They're their own sort of voice, even though they're within this larger, goth world that we're developing. Each story has its own sort of, story device. And in this one, Chains That Bind Us, it basically asks the question, what does creation look like? And we start to go through the mentality of what does creation look like? What does creation mean? I love writing these things because it really takes me out of my normal writing sense and pushes me into these little pockets of creativity. CB just he has completely tuned in to what I'm trying to do with these books. And the first two have come out just amazing, and I'm really excited about this one. He's already working on this now. So as you can see, those that don't know the characters, that is Rookie. She is the one of our critter characters in her goth version there, and then the floating girl is Marie Antoinette with her guillotine. This is the first time Antoinette has returned since her debut a few years ago. And it's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be an interesting combination, and it's going to be an interesting story as you have the through line being, what is creation? How does it work? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Awesome. And we're definitely looking forward to that, because, I mean, you'll have days without a project. I mean, what are we going to do before?
I know you've got like a month, you got almost like 2 months without anything from me now. So hopefully you'll go over to Gage's project and spend some money there while you wait for me to show back up in May.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely be doing that.
I was just totally pushed out there by Tom Hutchinson. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Well, listen, dude, you have already done, now technically this will be when your book actually comes out, but you're working on the second issue. You've already done now more than probably 75% of people that try to make comics, because there's a lot of people that do one issue. That percentage falls dramatically when you start to talk about who's doing a second issue. And then it falls again when you talk about who's doing a third issue and so on. So you are already light years ahead of most of the people trying to make comics because you're doing a second issue.
I already have art for the third issue.
Wow, dude,
planning the stretch goals and prints and all of that fun stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's it. You are doing it, and you will set. Hopefully, I mean, people that are watching you now will be like, yo, that Gage guy, he's doing it. Let's watch how Gage does this thing now. And you'll become the inspiration for somebody that's following behind you. Because that's the way it is. It's always coattails, and it's always like who's following and who's jumping on at what point. And so now you're dragging coattails because you're doing the job.
Exactly. And that being said, this is the perfect time that we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up on this one. We're going to go to each of y'all and give you full screen on this. And you're going to let us know why we need to go ahead and go over there and start following. And I made it very easy. You go over to the information on the show on any of the feeds you're on there, and it will have the links already embedded in every place on there. Made it very easy. Just click and go at that point. But wait until you hear what these guys have to say. And we're going to start off with Peat right here because he's already ready. So we're going to bring him up on full screen, and Pete's going to let you know why you need to follow him and get over there and check out his cover over there on Gage's campaign as well.
Hey, everybody. Again, it's Pete. Hi, how you doing? I stayed quiet because I wanted to soak in everything you guys were talking about. But, yeah, love it. I'm an artist. I've always been an artist. It's like Keith Haring said, my job is just to draw as much as I can and get as many people's eyes on it as I can, and that's what I want to do. And if you happen to want to buy some of my stuff, cool. If you happen to want to hire me for your thing, like the way Gage did for Godslayers, cool. A thing, because you talked about passion. I'm not one of those guys who's just gonna, oh, cool, I got my money, I did my cover, I'm out. See you later. See you on the next one. Nah, Gage is my friend. I'm gonna help him by sharing and talking to people and sharing and showing my friends who aren't necessarily, comic book. Hey, you got to check this out. I did this cover and the story is really cool. And check out the first one and blah 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 and all that stuff. And that's what I want everybody just check it out. You're gonna like it. You're gonna want to be a part of it. And if that gets you into more, cool. If you want to see more of my stuff, cool. You definitely want to see more of Gage's stuff. And everybody already see Tom's stuff, so I'm not going to say anything about him. But there's the info if you need to find me. It's real easy. Instagram is where I post everything. Twitter is where I argue with people. And Twitch is where I draw. Twitch is where I draw live so you can see me doing stuff. So
why don't you have your TikTok on there?
Because I kind of keep that one. That's kind of that's kind of like my garbage tail. That's kind of like my notepad. That's where I scribble my sketchbook. It's where I scribble everything. Tom found out that I was TikTok famous for a video of me actually it was during the quarantine having a panic attack in a Target parking lot, and it's up to like 75,000 views and something like that. It's the reason why I can go live on TikTok. But I just posted something today on TikTok. I got like 2 views. So.
And Tom is one of them.
I hope so. Shit.
All right, I'll get you to 3 right now.
All right, cool. Yay.
Well, while Tom is getting you your third view, Gage, I'm going to give you full screen on this one and let them know why they need to go over there to the campaign and get on board with Godslayers issue 2.
So Godslayers episode 2 is with the letterer, so it's done. I'm just looking to print and get it out to you guys. We got all kinds of fun stuff, like we got our chibi stickers by Myonis Doodles. These are like vinyl cut stickers. I went hog wild with artists and got lots of loot. Even if we max out my stretch goals, I still got more stuff that I can add as stretch goals because like I said, I love the art so much. Godslayers episode 2 closes out the story of waking the Godslayer that I started in episode 1, and I'm already preparing for Godslayers episode 3. So come check us out. You can find me on Facebook at Tenebris Anima Comics, and you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and on Instagram at Gage the Wolf.
Awesome. So y'all definitely need to go over there and check out the campaign on that. If you have not gotten over there to Pillow Fight, Tom's going to let you know why you need to jump over there and look at the ones that are already sold out. So I'm going to give him full screen on this one.
Yeah, you got about 40 minutes to go here on International Pillow Fight Day. A lot of that stuff's already sold out. If you like really limited edition books, that's what's left, guys. There's only 50 of these things and 12 of them are left. So if you like the limited edition stuff, it's there. If Pillow Fight Day is not your bag, we'll be back in May. May 22nd is World Goth Day. That's a real thing. World Goth Day, May 22nd. We'll be launching the new book. It's launching on a Monday because that's when the 22nd is. We will have CB Zane is joining me again for that. We have Narcelio Sousa is back. We have oh my gosh, I'm going to forget who all we have coming back. We have Nia Fino coming back. We have Asher B coming back. We have a brand new artist that is debuting with us that is yet to be named. Because I don't want people pillaging my artists before they even debut. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff on World Goth Day. And then in July, we're officially celebrating 13 years of Big Dog Inc. with our BD 13 anthology. We will have 2 other writers joining me for a big anthology book and all kinds of fun in July. So, yeah.
Awesome. And just let everyone know to give you an update on my stuff because I'm going to start doing that because we're officially in promotion time with mine. Number one, my heart rate went up just a few octaves. And by a few, I mean like a lot. Because as of today, 2 months from today, it's the night before I actually get married. So I don't know if I'm going to have cold feet or, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, no blood pressure. I don't know. But that's coming up, and that's the big day that I'm definitely looking forward to. I joke about it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. But May 30th is whenever we actually launch our book. The first time that my writing will be out there as a co-writer in a book, which I am incredibly excited about. Issue 2 will be my writing on there, and he's over here right now pushing me to go ahead and let everybody know. But it's Voices in the Dark, Tim Ingram. That is my co-writer right there. That's we're writing that together and getting the story out there to everyone. It's going to be a fun one. You'll kind of notice there are some similarities to the main character in there and to me for some reason. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just because, most guys look like me. I don't know. I have doppelgangers out there. But of course, we have the convention that's coming up, which is the Collectors Con Ohio, which will be August 19th, which is just before my birthday, which will also mark the day that I die, because apparently I'm taking a suplex by a wrestler in the middle of the ring just before I turn 50 years old. That's always a great idea, by the way. So my wife is going to be a widow before we're even 2 months into the marriage. That is just awesome. Now that I say this out loud, it's not looking so much fun. But yeah,
Fabulous Moolah was taking power bombs when she was 90. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Mae Young went through a table off a stage when she was like 89.
No ideas. No ideas. Do not tell people ideas. He's listening. My fiance is the one that's back there reaching out to the wrestling people that'll be at the convention going, what else can we do to him since he's turning 50? And it's like, holy
Flaming
crap.
table.
No.
Flaming table.
We're not in
Thumbtacks are in vogue now too. Thumbtacks.
And
if it's Hell in a Cell, I'd worry. Otherwise, you're fine.
Yeah, no ideas. Damn. Oh, we have plans. Oh, thank you. Now the wheels are turning. Great. All right. So on that matter, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's here tonight. I do want to close out with one other thing on here, and this is kind of a personal thing. Today marks the anniversary of something that happened a year ago that really hit some of us a lot harder that knew him. But the passing of David Fott. He passed a year ago today, and that has been rough for a lot of us who knew him. And yes, that's one of his better pictures there. But he would have loved the projects that are going on and stuff. Tom, you worked with him, quite a bit and brought his name up, through the ranks whenever he was coming up through there. He was actually named, the Artist of the Year for 2020 or 2021. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, 2020, he won Pinup Artist of the Year for one of the things he did for us. Yeah.
Yes, for the Goth Day, if I'm not mistaken.
No, for the Showgirls, Penny for Your Soul.
Showgirls.
Yeah, he did the angel doing the finger thing. Yeah. So he won 2020 best pinup artist.
So I just wanted to make sure and pay homage to him on today. I know he's not here, but he is watching. And if I don't pay homage, I'm pretty sure that, the lights will start flickering or start knocking coffee cups off, because he's doing that to his sister on a regular basis. Christy's having to deal with that, and she loves it because she gets to spend time with him, even though he's not there, and still messing with her. But I just want to say that we really appreciate everything that he did do while he was here. And sometimes it's a lot where we need to make sure we appreciate each other while we're still here and let everybody know what's going on and how much we appreciate the work that they're doing. So everyone that's here right now knows how I feel about their work and what's going on with all this. And I definitely want to thank everyone who's watching the show and will be watching later on, because it means the world to me that you're spending the time to give my guests the exposure that they deserve. So that being said, I want to finish it off the way that I finish it off with every show on there, which is the 2 hashtags. Pete already used one of the hashtags. He just used it kind of a different way. But the first one is Power of the Finger, the correct one. And hit that share button and make sure that you share things out. Not everyone has the money to spend on every single project that's out there. We completely understand that. No one does not understand that completely. But it costs nothing to share it out. So get out there and make sure you share these things out. And the reason you want to share these things out is for the other hashtag, which is Voice of the Indies. Again, Pete knows this probably better than most everyone that's in here right now, is that Larry gave me the name of Voice of the Indies. And I kind of, stepped down from that. I didn't want that as a personal name. I think that's more of a conglomerate on there. As much as I appreciate and respect the fact that he gave me a name like that, because he could have called me all kinds of other things that would have been much, much worse.
Oh, he does. He does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But by giving me that, actually gave me the idea to go ahead and go with the hashtag of Voice of the Indies, because it is the conglomerate. The more that we all work together to get that voice out there, the more everyone is forced to hear what has to be said and what has to be shown. So right now is the time to get out there and use the power of that finger increase the voice of the indies and do what you can today and start making an impact, not only in the indies, but in life in general. So on that end, I want to thank everyone again. Pete, Gage, Tom, thank you for being here. Tom, Mr. 16, he's going for Mr. 17 on the next time he shows up on here, which I have a feeling is going to be really flipping quick.
Next week, right? Next week.
2-day campaign, he's going to do about 25 grand. It's going to be great.
But I want to thank everyone for that. And on top of that, Tom has probably come up with a new idea for something else to drop probably tomorrow morning. So just keep your eyes open on Big Dog Inc. and see what's going on. But jump over there to Gage's project and pick out your cover, pick out your project, your tier that you want over there and everything, and show the love that you can if you're able to. If you're not, I'm telling you right now, power the finger that bad boy and get the voice of the indie spread on that project right now. We want to see that thing fully funded and see what's going on out there and have some books in hand because I want my book. So on that,
not like werewolf mummies. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. On that end, I get to say what I love saying at the end of every show, which is positive out there and keep it indie.